When you think of Star Wars games, you think of adventure games with lightsabers and blasters and stormtroopers, but there's a whole other side of Star Wars games that has been kind of neglected over the past couple of years, and these are the space sim games, and these are their glory days in the 1990s with TIE Fighter and X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter, and we had a glimpse of a possible comeback with 2020 Star Wars Squadrons, which unfortunately did not live up to our expectations. However, there is still a game out there that is still up and kicking, and this is what I'm going to be showing you in today's video. Welcome to the channel, it's the Eradicator, and in today's video we will go over what still makes X-Wing Alliance the go-to games when it comes to having a spaceflight experience set in the Star Wars universe, because over the past couple of years we've had very cool looking game modes in Battlefront 2015 and especially in 2017's Battlefront 2. We've seen an attempt at reviving the genre in 2020 in the form of Star Wars Squadrons, but none of these examples have managed to live up to the fans' expectations, who in the end return to the now 23-year-old X-Wing Alliance whenever that need for Star Wars space combat itches them. And of course, the whole point of this video is going to try to answer why, and to do that I have pinpointed 3 possible reasons which I believe could explain the phenomenon, and those are modding, immersion, and narrative quality. So, first, we will start with how modding has transformed X-Wing Alliance into a game worth checking out in 2022. To begin with, we need to give a huge shout out to the amazing team at X-Wing Alliance Upgrade, who have been working on improving the game for over 2 decades now, providing us with quality updated models that visually are very pleasing for today's standards. Updated graphics, new visual effects, especially when it comes to lighting. I mean, look at this. It's hard to believe that you are looking at an engine that was designed 30 years ago, and yet the modding community have found a way to transform the game in such a compelling way that it's really hard to resist the urge to check it out to see how much better it is now compared to how good it was in our memories. And let me tell you guys, it is pure joy to step in the boots of Ace Asamine and rediscover the campaigns of the 50+ missions that we have there in a brand new light that sometimes just feels like a completely different games. Speaking of a completely different games, how could we also not talk about the TIE Fighter Total Conversion mode, which has recreated and reimagined with modern possibilities the entire TIE Fighter campaign from 1994, with full voice acting being the icing on the cake. So, in case you get bored flying for the Rebellion, you can now fly for the Empire too, with an even longer campaign and brand new assets such as hangars or ships, including flyable ones, and this is just the beginning for spectacular modding projects for the game, as very recently the team at X-Wing Alliance Upgrade found a way to redirect computing power from the CPU to the GPU, something they have been trying to do for over a decade now, and they have finally achieved, which will then open the door to plenty of new scenarios that were unimaginable until now, like actual asteroid chases, or a more faithful reproduction of the Battle of Endor with far more ships fighting. The modding tools themselves are very easy to use, and I am sure that it won't be long until someone finally designs the next great game campaign. Next, let's talk about the immersion in X-Wing Alliance, which I find unparalleled compared to other Star Wars games, including Star Wars Squadrons. But what I believe makes the biggest difference in X-Wing Alliance are all the little details. I mean, these details just make the whole game feel much more believable. For example, one of the major differences between X-Wing Alliance and Squadrons is that the game just doesn't call crafts by their type, but by a designation name. For example, a Corellian Corvette will never be called a Corellian Corvette in X-Wing Alliance, but will be designated by its name instead, for example, Tentive 4. The same can be said for every single entity that can be found, ranging from the largest bases to the smallest of escape pods and cargo containers. I also love that the game also offers a large array of commands for pretty much everything, ranging from object pickups to power management or the call for reinforcement. Getting to know the game better also gives so much replayability because your mastery offers new possibilities that can change your entire experience within the game, which make the results of your missions also different. And that's what makes X-Wing Alliance less linear than, for example, Star Wars Squadrons, which instead tends to grab you by the hand far more. Finally, I want to touch on the narrative aspect of X-Wing Alliance, which of course is heavily story-driven, as it tells about the story of a neutral family of transporters that slowly gets involved with a rebellion, leading their younger son, Ace Azamin, which is played by you, straight to the Battle of Endor. What makes the story particularly enjoyable, in my opinion, are all the little Easter eggs found throughout the campaign that really make us feel that it is really intertwined within the rest of the saga, including the late expanded universe. There really was a push to tell an authentic story that could have contributed to the Star Wars lore, for example, which is really something that Squadrons did not have, which then relegates, for example, existing characters into an afterthought. For example, in Star Wars Squadrons, does Wedge Antilles have a memorable moment like Luke Skywalker, who tries to steal the Death Star plans in X-Wing Alliance? Of course not, right? Not to mention that Hera Syndulla in Squadrons is not even flying, so that also is a missed opportunity, in my opinion, to bring a great character into the game. But anyway, guys, that's all we had to say here about X-Wing Alliance and why it still is, in my opinion, the go-to game in 2022 when it comes to having a great Star Wars experience in space. But let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Have you played X-Wing Alliance? Did you recently get it with a new X-Wing Alliance upgrade? What do you guys think of what you saw in today's video? Let me know. Alright, guys, have a wonderful day as always. Thank you so much to everyone for watching. It has been the Eradicator, and I will see you guys later.